Hey, hey, hey. Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, guys. So, love the skin I'm in. All right. So, I'm going to get started. This is Camper Conversations. Good evening. So, yesterday, I apologize to you all because I was not able to get on yesterday. See some over here. I was not able to get on yesterday. Had a bit of a family emergency, and I had to make sure everything was good. So as promised, I'm here tonight, and we're gonna get started. Not gonna stay on really long, but this has been so good, and we've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it so much. I wanted to make sure that I keep going. So, happy Saturday evening. It is not Friday. We're normally on here on Friday. As some of you all can see, I call you, son. It's okay. My son is asking what was the family emergency. Call your sister. Talk to your sister. Hey, sis. So, as some of you all can see, because y'all are coming on different places, I am on two places this time. I am on IG and I'm on Facebook because people keep telling me I need to take this form further. I need to take it somewhere else. I'm thinking about constructing a YouTube page. I literally have, guys, at least 20 camper conversation videos. I know what you meant, son. He said, sorry. Call your sister. You can talk to your sister. Everything is okay. Everything's going to be okay. So, sorry, y'all. My son is on IG. He's never on. This is his first time on. So hopefully he'll stay and enjoy with us. Okay, so I've been asked to take this further because the information that we talk about, how we get on and join one another and how we're here is so insightful, and it's been very helpful to myself and helpful to others. So let me start out by doing my introduction as regular. Hey, you guys, welcome to Real Life Relationship Growth and Camper Conversations. Camper Conversations, for those who don't know, stemmed from I started doing this in my camper. Bought a fifth wheel camper, did some just a little bit of camping. We're gonna do it again. We went to a melanated camp out. Hey, Rob, we went to a melanated camp out. It was all us out there camping. We had a blast. So if y'all see me kind of going back and forth, I'm dealing with two phones, two cameras, Facebook and IG. Okay, all right. So Camper Conversation started. I had a thought, like, let's take some of the points and the posts and the information and things y'all send me, and let's talk about it. As adults who are dealing in this world. So my intro always is, I am not a relationship expert. I do not claim to be. I do not proclaim to be. All I know is I'm a black woman in this life, living it and doing the damn thing. And I am enjoying myself. I want to give a shout out to the brothers. You men are stepping up so big on Real Life Relationship Growth. I really appreciate it. Like, y'all are inboxing me, y'all are sending me topics, y'all are posting, you all are liking, loving, giving your input. A lot of times, we know in this type forum, we don't get a lot of men. We don't get a lot of men that chime in and give their opinions and their thoughts and their feelings. But here, you all do. So, fellas, I really appreciate y'all. Keep it coming. Let's stay communicating with one another and building this thing. So again, I'm not a relationship expert. I have just lived this life. So this is the criteria for this group. This is the criteria for being a member of Real Life Relationship Growth. And i.e., point, guys, we have over 1K members on this page in this group. And there are about, at any given time, 300 to 400 active people either looking, liking, loving, laughing, or commenting. Okay? Which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. I never expected, never anticipated it to go this far. So, what we do is we take topics, for those of you who are new, we take topics that are either sent to me, that are either posted on the page, and we discuss them. We have a good time talking about them. Some are serious, some give some laughs or whatever. But if you are an adult, if you are single, if you are dating, if you are courting, if you are married, if you are divorced, this is the place for you. Because something that you have gone through in life before, I guarantee someone else is either going through it or they're going to go through it, and they're like, I need some help, I need some advice, somebody somewhere. Now, we're not professionals. Now, I'm not a professional. There may be some professionals that come on, and we gladly take your input. But I'm not a professional. All I know is I've been through some things, and I've learned some things, and I've made some mistakes, and I've had some setbacks, and I've had some comebacks and some builds up. Okay? All right. So we're going to get started. Our topic tonight is time. Now, again, I take topics that you all send to me, or you all post, or you all show an interest in. So understand, everything, yes, right, you can't keep a good thing from growing, you right, sis. Everything that's posted on this page is not my brainchild. Just understand. A lot of it is, but I would say equal amount is everybody else as well. Again, either it's sent to me in my inbox, and most of the time the men are like, hey, can you post this? Or what you think about this? Or say something, because they don't necessarily want to be up out front. And ladies do it too. So I have no problem with posting. But just understand, everything you see on Real Life Relationship Growth page is not my personal situation, or it's not something that I came up with. Okay? All right. I like to give my input too. So let's grow. Let's learn from one another. So our topic tonight is time. This topic, you all, came from a very special person. This person means the world to me. I have 3 heartbeats. I call 3 people 3 heartbeats. The first one is my son, Rajan. Hey, lady. Hey, Janae. The second one is my daughter, Charisma. The third one is my nephew, Caden. Those are my heartbeats. I am their #1 fans. All right. No perfection in relationships, just doing better, building, and growing. Wasn't the perfect mother, wasn't the best mother all the time, but we live what we learn, and then when we learn better, we do better. When we learn better, we do better. All right, son, I hear him. Tell him to stay tuned. And join the page, Real Life Relationship Growth, on Facebook. I have to expand it further, but right now it's just on Facebook. Join the page and have a good time. So the topic came from a very special person. This topic came from my second heartbeat, my daughter, Charisma. My daughter, Charisma. She's 24, soon to be 25. She's single, but she's dealing with some life and relationships. Perfect. Life and relationships. So, time. So, I put the topic up, and, I try to leave it as a little cliffhanger, right? I try to leave it as a little cliffhanger. I want y'all to think, and I want to draw y'all too. So, time is our topic. Time is our topic. I made a post. I love TikTok, y'all. My sister Claudia is the TikTok queen. Excuse me. I made a post. Let me try to find it. I think I did it yesterday. I made a post on my page, a little video I did on TikTok, and I posted it to my page. And it talked about Woman Interrupted. It's entitled Woman Interrupted. You can go to my page and you can watch. I think I put it on IG as well. If not, I'll put it on there. But Woman Interrupted is the title of what I spoke on the video. And it kind of said, just paraphrasing, not going to say the whole thing, but it pretty much went toward the direction of realizing I was interrupted. This was personal to me. I made this up. I thought about it. I'm like, let me pen this to paper, whatever. So it pretty much talked about allowing ourselves to be interrupted, allowing our time to be interrupted, and why, once we realize that our time being interrupted shouldn't have happened, thinking about why we allow it to happen, thinking about who we allow to interrupt our time, and then taking what we experienced and learning from it. I've taken my past experiences and I've learned from them. I don't believe in being bitter. I believe that you should take from every relationship that you have, you should take something from it. My motto is either I'm going to take it and I'm going to learn and grow from it and I'm going to use it, or I'm going to throw it away. If it's conducive to my growth, I am going to take it and use it for myself or either my next relationship. Now, y'all already know, if I could be a poster child for counseling, I would be. Like, y'all would see me on the poster, like, that's my thing. I am an advocate for counseling. Counseling, I have been counseling for the last year. I have been in counseling. And through counseling, it did not allow me or necessarily make me see all the faults and wrongs with everyone else. It made me see all the faults and wrongs with myself. And not that we don't notice faults and wrongs in ourselves. We notice faults and wrongs in ourselves. But sometimes we don't like to admit them until it may be too late. And I'm sorry, I like to make sure I'm reading when everyone posts. So Claudette Brown, who is my sister, says, time can heal. Time can give you time to reflect. Time can consume you if it's not balanced. Time for self is important. Love, love, love that. She is so right. Time for yourself is crucially important. That's why counseling pinpoints yourself. Counseling helps you to see things in a different way and possibly in a better way. Now, please trust and believe, when you start counseling, there's going to be some hurt, there's going to be some pain, there's going to be some crying, there's going to be some wows, there's going to be some anger. Give it time. Give time for the process to work. Don't jump in and jump out, because it'll never work if you jump in and jump out. So, in talking about relationships, time. Who we give our time to, why we give our time to certain people, and how during that time period we realize some things. We realize, first of all, am I ready for this relationship? Am I ready? Is it time for me to be in a relationship? Sorry, y'all, mouth kind of dry. Is it time for me to be in a relationship? Have I spent enough time with myself? Do I even understand what it means to be in a relationship? Do I have time to give to another person? Right? So all of these questions come under time. A lot of time, we tend to go into relationships because it's what we think we should be doing. Like, we're getting older. Our friends are in relationships. Our friends are having children. Our friends are getting married. Our friends are going on vacations with their significant others and doing this and doing that. And a lot of time, looking at other people, social media, movies, sometimes, just the world on a whole, or it could be influences and pushing from family members. Like, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have children? When are you going to do this and when are you going to do that? And sometimes we go into things not being ready and not being prepared. Now listen, I don't care how old you are. You could be 40, 50. If you're 40 and 50 and you're not prepared and ready for a relationship, it might not be what you want, but you at least should be equipped by that point. I would think you should be equipped. Not saying you have to be in a relationship, but you should be equipped. And what I mean by that is, at 40 and 50 and 35 and we've had some experiences. And if we have not made changes to who we are, because there's no perfect person, if we have not made changes to who we are and understand who we are at that point, it's not time for a relationship. Because if you don't know how to treat yourself, if you don't know what your goals are, if you're not sure what you're aspiring for, then is it really fair to pull someone else into that? There is nothing wrong with being single. If you on here and you single and it's by choice, hey lady, you made it. And it's by choice, then kudos to you. Nothing wrong with being single. But if you want to be in a relationship with someone, you have to understand first who you are. Now, truth be told, I got married I got married young. I wasn't, like right out of high school or anything. But we did have our oldest before we were married. We had our oldest before we were married. And we did not get married because of him. Not a good thing. Don't get married just because of children. Marry because of love, respect, and all of those good things. Not just love. Because love is not going to keep you. Understand that. We talked about that before too. But we had our oldest. Y'all, I graduated pregnant. I did. I graduated pregnant. Never. The first time I ever truly fell in love. I loved my son to death. He was the greatest baby, y'all. Like, he was. Not get off track. But, the timing was not right. The timing was not right. So we didn't jump into marriage. His father stayed there. My ex-husband, he stayed there and took care of him, and we both took care of him, and we were military family, so we moved around, and he got stationed somewhere else, but still always took care of his son. So years later, we decided it was time for us to get married. We decided, I think Rajan was 4 or 5. I think Rajan was 5 when we got married. And we decided it was time for us to get married. And we made that decision to get married. Again, no one says you have to jump into marriage. That's not what time says. Time does not say just because you need to jump into marriage. Still fly. Thank you, lady. It does not mean you have to jump into marriage. Okay? Understand who you are. Learn to love you. If you don't love you, counseling, figure out why you don't love you. Because you should love you. We are all great. We are all created by a God who gave the world literally for us. That means we're special. That means there is something about you. There is something about you specifically that is special, is worth the world. Because the creator of the world created you, created me. So we have to understand and know how special we are. That is the first thing. When you do not understand how great and how special you are, you tend to fall for anything. You tend to fall for anybody. And your focus is not on you. You find yourself trying to please and appease other people, which leads you to a place of unhappiness. Trying to please and appease other people leads you into a place, hey lady, I'm glad you made it, leads you into a place of unhappiness. So, again, I mentioned a little while ago, I've been in counseling for about a year now, right? And I made the decision to go into counseling. Now, granted, this was not the first time that I had been in counseling. Wasn't the first time. I had been in counseling before. Marital counseling. And usually we tend to jump into counseling when bad things happen, when something happens. We tend to jump into counseling. Please, 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 another plug for it. Don't wait till something happens to get counseling. So if we think about it, CEOs of corporations and large companies they have someone usually on their team or on staff that advises them. They advise them. They let them know how they should move, when they should move, what the best time is to move, right? So if people that are running this nation, so to speak, if people who are running this nation are advised and counseled by someone to make sure they continue to be great, how much smarter is it for us to get into some type of counseling when things go wrong? So if counseling works when things go right, imagine what counseling can do when things go wrong. Imagine what it can do when things go wrong. So coming into the thought process of relationships, we get into relationships sometimes prematurely. We look at somebody, we meet somebody, we start talking to them, and then we decide, hey, we want to be together. We want to start dating each other. And start dating, and then you see little things. And, oh man, that's not that bad. You hear little things. Oh man, that's not that bad. Because, everybody has flaws. Everybody has issues. Yes, everyone has flaws and issues. But are those flaws and issues meant for you to take on? Are those flaws and issues meant for you to give up your moral values? Things that you desire for yourself in life, just in the thought of saying it's not that bad? When you find yourself saying that, please know you need to pause. You need to pause, back up, and reflect on, should I really be in this relationship? So we meet someone, we're having a good time, their representative is there. We know what the representative is, right? The representative is not necessarily a fake, phony person, but it's the best of us. We put our best foot forward. We go on an interview, and we get on that interview, and we are repping, right? We are repping the best dime because we want this job. We want this position. So we are representing and showing the best of us. When we meet someone and we're attracted to them, we're giving them our representative. Again, it doesn't mean being fake and phony. It means we're trying to impress this person in some type of way because we want to draw their attention. We want to keep their attention. So, but then as time goes on and we get more comfortable, the representative introduces us to the real for real. The real for real, right? We get introduced into the real for real. We get introduced into the person who deals with depression. We get introduced to the person who can't seem to love, be appreciative, the selfish person. We get introduced to the person who doesn't believe how we believe. We get introduced to the person that doesn't clean up after themselves. We get introduced to the person's bad habits. We get introduced to all of that. And in the process of time, we're thinking, is it not that bad? Is it okay? Now, learning to love someone with their flaws is way different than what I'm saying. We love each other with our flaws, but we don't take the flaws that are deal breakers and accept them. Do not take flaws that are deal breakers and accept them, because you're going to find yourself trying to okay all of those things that are deal breakers. Now, I'm going to tell you, my last relationship, we made a list of deal breakers. We talked about that because, in our 40s, right? We've done some things, we both had past relationships. And we knew at that point what things were not going to work for our life and our growth. So we made a list of deal breakers. And we talked about those things beforehand. Hey, Ash, you late, girl. We talked about those things beforehand. We talked about the deal breakers. The things that would make it really, really tough to stay in the relationship. And if we saw those deal breakers, they would do one or two things. It would say, hey, listen, I can't do that. I can't accept that. And if that's who you're going to be, without trying to make a change, then I can't be with you. That was the one thing. Or the second thing was, there is no discussion. That's the deal breaker. I'm out. I'm out. That's the deal breaker. So, a deal breaker for me was cheating. That is a deal breaker for me. I don't come back from that. I mean, some people can, and I'm not telling you what to do in your household. Some people have situations where someone cheats on them and they talk it out and they forgive and they move on. Because there are two sides to every story. There are two sides to everything. There's yours, there's mine, and then there's the right. Because we both look at things our way. We just have a selfish nature of doing that. So, deal breakers. And in the process of the deal breakers, other things were required for me. Other things were required for me within those deal breakers. Hey, T. There were other things that came along in the deal breaker list for me. And he had a list of deal breakers for himself as well. Of course, I'm perfect. I never broke any, But in the process of getting to know each other, in the process of time, making excuses, excusing things that you know you can't tolerate and you shouldn't tolerate and you won't tolerate for your life. Those are the things that time cannot heal, time cannot change, unless, here we go with counseling again, because y'all know I love it. Unless someone says, you know what, I have a problem. Let's go to counseling, or I'm going to go to counseling and try to fix this situation because I care about you and I care about myself. And in the process of caring about myself and caring about you and realizing that I want to be with you, I want to make some changes. That is different. When you make changes, when a person makes changes on their own, even if it's for you, but they realize it's not productive, whatever's going on to you all's relationship. That's the difference. So, wasted time. We realize that there are people that we can say was a waste of time. But I always say it still comes back to us in some sort of way. Why did we allow that person to waste our time? So important to love ourselves. Love yourself. My shirt says, I love the skin I'm in. I love this shirt. I love this shirt because it just speaks. Proudly. I do. I love the skin I'm in. I love my chocolate skin. I think I'm kind of cute. I think, I do all right. I'm all right. But more so, even more so, what's underneath this skin, the heart and the brain, what's there, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. Got you. Sometimes people pop in the midst of me getting started, y'all, and let me know why they can't join. Okay. I got you. We'll chat later. I'll have to get back with him later. Okay. All right. So, loving the skin that you're in. I have not always loved the skin that I'm in, y'all. I have not always. Which makes sense to me now that I understand why I allowed some things to happen in my life. Why I went some directions in my life. It explains so much. My sister, it doesn't have to be wasted time if you learn from it. You're so right, sis. Exactly. It doesn't have to be wasted time. When I say wasted time, some of it was wasted time. And I did learn from it. You're right. Because like I said at the beginning, some things I take and I was like, let me use that. Because that's growth worthy. And sometimes, some things we throw away. So you're right. It's time in the process on all of it. But I have not always felt the best about myself. I could not always wear a shirt like this. Right? When I was younger, there are certain things that I wanted, certain things that I needed that I did not receive. And again, through counseling, I've learned a lot and I've realized a lot, and a lot has come to the surface. So I mentioned before in another video when we talked, another camper conversation, when we were all in our safe place talking together about some abuse that I endured early on in life. Abuse that was never talked about, never came up, and was kind of hidden in the back here. But it affected a lot with my life. It affected a lot in my teenage life. It affected a lot in my young adult life. It affected a lot in my married life. It affected a lot. So the time that I spent, the time that I did not use to focus in on healing and getting better, was the time that I could say, sis, was wasted. Meaning wasted because I lost a lot of time not focusing and working on things that were causing me to be what I did not want to be and who I didn't want to be. So when we focus in on time, yeah, we talking about time. Because it waits for no one. We cannot get it back when it's gone. But what we can do is take corrective measures moving forward. That's what we can do. We can take corrective measures moving forward with the time that was lost. But there are things that have happened. You know, everybody, I think, at some point may have some type of background or story or situation that may have happened to them that kind of formed who they were and who they are, right? Abuse, whether it was sexual abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, all of those things. And when we move forward in life and we start getting to a point of relationships, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about relationships. We get to the point where we're talking about relationships and we're moving into relationships. And we take all that residual junk with us, that baggage that we've been carrying, that abuse that's in the back of the mind that is affecting us, but we swear up and down it doesn't bother us. And sometimes we don't even know that it's affecting us and it's bothering us. But it is. And it's there. So we choose partners. We date people. We talk to people. We give our time to people who don't deserve it because we're looking to fill something. We're looking to make up for something. We're looking for need. We need something. We need something. And a lot of times, we don't realize it until it's either too late or it's in the subconscious. Yes, yep, it is. It's in the subconscious. A lot of times, we don't see it and realize it until it's too late. But what we're here to do, y'all, because in this group, we are here for one another. We are here to help the next young sister not to go what we went through, or the next young brother not to go what we went through. I always tell my daughter, I tell her, you don't have to bump your head on the same rock that I did to learn. Some situations you don't have to experience for yourself to know that they are no good, right? If you see someone who is an alcoholic, for example, right? And we know how you become an alcoholic. We know how that develops. You consume too much alcohol. And your body gets to a point where it craves it, it wants it, it needs it to be able to function. If I know an alcoholic and I see the results of the alcohol on their life, why do I have to walk that same path just to say, well, that ain't me, or that's not going to happen to me? Because trust and believe, I've never met an alcoholic that said, oh, I planned this. Now, I'm not saying don't drink. Everybody, everyone, adults, and you have to make decisions for yourself, and you have to learn the proper way to do things, how to do things, and if you need and can do those things. I'm not here to say that. I can't tell anybody what to do and what not to do. But what I can say is there are certain things in this world that will affect us in a negative way. There are certain things that will lead us to addiction. And it's not just substance, sexual addictions, all types of things, right? So I always say, you don't have to bump your head on the same rock. Every situation affects everyone differently. Exactly. Yep. Hey, sir. Everything affects everyone in different ways. You have to understand and know what you can and cannot do and can and cannot tolerate, and be responsible with it. Because at the end of the day, it's you have to take care of. So in the process of learning, you don't always have to bump your head on the same rock. I always say that. Like, why do you have to experience it? Well, I need to experience it. No. Let me tell you something about me. My business has grown because I watch, I listen, I ask, and I receive. I watch others before me who have done it. I listen to what they say when they give advice on how to move and progress and to grow. I watch, I listen, I ask questions. Like, I'm the one that's gonna ask. I used to tell my kids, I don't know if y'all remembers this, and I think I still say it. I say it to my nephew a lot. The dumb question is the question you don't ask. Because why? You don't even know what the answer is. That's the dumb question is the question you don't ask. And I can guarantee you, there is someone else that needs to know the same information that you are asking. There's someone else that needs to know the same information that you are asking, but nobody wants to ask. So I'm the one that asks and receives. I have no shame in my game. Let me tell you something. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to grow your business, you better knock pride out the way. There is no pride in growth. If you want to grow, you better knock pride out the way. Knock it out the way. Because I'm the one that's like, what you giving? All I gotta do is ask for it, and I can get it. Questions lead to wisdom. That's right, sis. So when COVID hit, y'all, there were all kind of things going out there for small businesses. There are all kind of things. Thanks, babes. There are all kind of things that were put out there for businesses. And I've always been told, being a black woman, and a minority, and being a woman, there are lots of resources out there. Shout out to my daughter Charisma, who is getting prepared to open her dance studio. I'm telling her the same thing. As a black woman, as an entrepreneur, there's so many things out there available. So this particular email came across my desk, and it was from the Rise, from Comcast, Xfinity, right? For y'all, just real quick synopsis, don't know about it. Comcast, Xfinity, was giving out communication, computer stuff, stuff for businesses to help out. That was their way of helping the demand for need in the community with small businesses that were shrinking and shutting down. Came across my desk. I filled out everything. Why? Because I'm an ass. Because I want to receive. Time. We talking about time. Y'all don't get off track. We talking about time. So I filled out everything that came across my desk. Got a phone call from the Rise program. Said you have been selected. Got an email. Then a phone call. You've been selected to receive da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Because we want to help your business. Now, mind you, we created a virtual lab. I had another use for a classroom in my new building. We created a virtual lab. Our computer lab turned into our virtual learning lab. Y'all, when I say, because I asked and I received and I had no shame and no pride in it, we got a desktop. 2 laptops, 3 iPads, like 3 iPads, and 12 months of free service for our cable and our internet. Donna's Loving Care received all of that. Why? Because I'm open to receiving. I'm open to receiving. You can't prosper and grow pride. Pride doesn't do it. So let's go back to the time. So understanding the perfect timing, understanding when we're ready, and understanding when we're not ready, and not dealing with the pressures of feeling like it has to be forced and we have to do this and we have to do that. Young sister, if you are not ready to be a wife, if you're not ready to be a mother, I'm sorry, y'all. Charisma! I need my cord. My laptop is about to die. Quickly, please. If you are not ready to be a wife, if you are not ready to be a mother, if you are not ready to have sex, if you are not ready to be in a committed relationship, then young lady, don't do it. Older lady, don't do it. Who says your time has to be given to someone else? Especially when you are loving and learning yourself. Young brother, older brother, same thing. Your time. Because when we take our time and we give it up prematurely, we end up hurting ourselves, and we can also end up hurting others. But we have to focus in on how important we are and how crucial it is that our time is given to build us and our time is given to focus. Because if you don't love yourself, you cannot love someone else. If you don't love yourself, you can... Are you hiding? All you have to do is walk around that way. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love someone else. Where you going? Right there. Right there. Plug it right. Okay. There it is. All right. So, if you can't love yourself, how can you love another? Time. Look, we are not all made of the same cloth. We are not all made of the same experiences. We don't all have the same stamina. We don't all have the same thought process. And that's okay. If you find yourself in a relationship and you realize, I'm not ready for this. It's not time. It can be hurtful to the other person for you to move and end that relationship. But please understand, it is going to be more productive and helpful for the both of you for you to back out of that relationship, respectfully say why, and move. There is nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. There is nothing wrong. And taking care of yourself, truth be told, some people are going to be disappointed. You possibly are going to disappoint someone in the process of taking care of yourself. That is in or outside of a relationship. Let's be real. Let's be honest. In or outside of a relationship. But if you find yourself realizing, my timing is wrong, I don't need to be here, I'm hurting more than I'm helping myself or anyone else, move out of that. Move out of that relationship. Move out of that relationship. Most importantly, if you're in a relationship and someone is hurting you, someone's not respecting you, someone's not appreciating you, and someone's not loving you, and you're doing the things that you know to do, takes two, and you know the things that you know to do, but there's some negativity going on, there's some abuse going on, get out of it. Give that person time to get themselves together. Because if you're being abusive, whether it's sexual, mental, physical, emotional, if you're being abusive, it's not your time to be in a relationship. Because you have not tackled the things that cause you to have those actions and reactions. So don't waste someone else's time Don't waste someone else's time until you are healthy and ready. But again, if you're in a relationship that's abusive, get out of it. Because nobody has time for that. That's a time wasted. Nobody has time for that. And I know it is not always easy. You feel like there's so many obstructions and obstacles to getting you out of it. But trust and believe it is possible. Been there, done that. Got another t-shirt that can describe it. It is possible to get out of an abusive situation and still come out on top. And still come out on top. So, I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to close it out. It is 7:48. I said I was going to try to keep these to 30 minutes, y'all, but sometimes the flow just gets going and y'all comment or whatever. If you missed, if you came in late, and if you see this later, understand and know it will be posted at the top, Camp of Conversation, Real Life Relationship Growth page. Every week I post the Camp of Conversation. I pin it to the top of the page. So if you missed it, you can always go back and watch. You can always go back and comment. You can like, love, whatever you want to do. It will always be there. All right? So if you didn't have an opportunity to comment or chime in like you may have wanted to, you are so welcome to do that. Okay. Mia, am I saying it right? Mia, M-E-E-H. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, sweetie. I apologize if I got it wrong. But she said too many people stay in a toxic relationship just to be with someone. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Time. You don't have time for toxic behavior. You don't have time for toxic, why can't I say that word, ways. You don't. And you may have been in a relationship for a really, really long time. A really, really long time. And then things happen and there's a shift in that relationship. And you think, I've been here, I've done this and I've done that, I don't understand. Please understand and know, time, we don't produce it, we don't make it. Sometimes a situation that happens helps us to realize where our time should have gone and where it needs to go. Sometimes a situation can be revealed and show us where our time should have gone or where our time is going. So be productive with your time. Be productive with your heart. Be productive with your energy. Be productive with your thoughts. If those things don't big up, I like to say big up. If you're not big up in yourself, if when you're looking at the situation and it's not giving you growth and allowing you to be productive in the relationship and allowing you to be helpful, then just think about, is it time? You may have to come back to it. Some relationships end, y'all. Some relationships end, but it doesn't mean that they are over. If you can understand that, because sometimes we have to step back and reevaluate and realize I need to do this, this, and that before I can full force and fully be into this. But time, don't waste your time. Don't give your time. Can't get it back. Love yourself. Love on someone else, y'all. Let's be nice and let's be sweet and be kind to one another. Everybody's not going to do things the way you want them to do it. Learn how to brush it off and keep it moving. Y'all, that was a tough one for me to learn. Like, I was in a process where I felt things had to go a certain way. And I realized again, that was because of certain things in my certain mindset that allowed me or had me acting in that manner. But sometimes you got to be like, okay. You don't want to do it? Okay. You don't think that way? Okay. Okay is my new catchphrase. That's my new word. Okay. Had a text this morning. My response was, okay. And I feel so much better. Like, ooh, I feel good. Like, okay. All right, y'all. So, I'm going to see y'all next week. Please continue to send your topics, give your suggestions and your ideas, what y'all want to talk about. Yo, we can get heavy and deep. Our last camper conversation, we talked about some deep stuff. I was transparent as usual, and I shared some things. My daughter is going through some stuff, y'all, and she shared her story because she wanted to help other people. It's a tough thing we're going through, some tough times, but God is good. He is always there. He's always watching over us and helping us out. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Y'all take care. Y'all be good. And keep sending your posts. Keep sending your topics. And let's watch this thing grow even further. 1K members. 1K members. And adding new members every day. I literally approve new members to this group every single day. All right. Be good, y'all. I know how to stop this live, but I'm not sure how to stop IG. So I'm going to take a chance and hit this right here. Love y'all. See y'all next week. Oh, there it is. All right. All right. Good night, Facebook.